Stand with me.
Trace the wind. Feel its fight.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Shaman Supreme over at Level 1 Gaming. At EVO 2024, Riot Games gave me the opportunity to play their new upcoming fighting game, which is named 2XKO, or formerly known as Project L. They took all of the best fighting game elements and mixed them all together into one place. And I honestly think I may have played one of the best fighting games of all time. And it's going to change not only the future of fighting games, but the future of the fighting game community. Now, with that being said, there's a lot to break down. So before I begin, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get all of our Level 1 content. To start, let me be clear. I did not want to stop playing. Riot Games was able to take all of the elements of Capcom's Versus series, Alpha series, and reinvented it. I'm going to do my best to reference the games that I find similarities to, but feel free to correct me or tell me a game or even an element that I might not have mentioned. Alright, so this game is truly fun. 2XKO is a 2v2 fighting game, and that alone is one of the coolest and biggest changes to start talking about. So with player 1 and player 2, you have the following. You can play alone and control two characters that you switch back and forth between your match, or you can play with two people at the same time, each person controlling one of the two characters, and they're going to have to work synergistically with each other to overcome their opponent. In order to start the match, one player is the point fighter, or in other words, the starting fighter, and the other player is the assist character until you switch. When you switch, the assist character then becomes the point character, and the point character becomes the assist. And don't worry, I'll explain how that's executed. But you gotta really think about it. This 2v2 concept means you can have 4 people playing at the same time. This is insane, and that's another thing that I'm gonna talk about more later on. The version that I played has 4 stages: the Bride of Progress, Spirit Hills, the Brazen Hydra, and Scuddler Strand. There's 6 playable champions: Yasuo, Illaoi, Echo, Darius, Ahri, and the newly character Braum. And each character has an alternate amount of colors to choose from, and some of these colors give your character a whole new look. Once you pick your 2 champions, you then have to select your fuse. This seems to be Riot Games' approach to making their own system, similar to like how Street Fighter Alpha has the ISM, or Capcom vs SNK 2 has a groove system. And let me break down the overall gameplay controls and general mechanics. So this game has 1 health bar for each of your characters, and there's 2 rounds to a game. There's something called a dynamic save meter, which is the green icon here, and I'll explain that more later. Of course, you have your super meter, and take note that each character has 3 meters. As for controls, this game is a bit simple, but it's also complex. It has your general movement, your basic forward, back, down, and up. You also have things like jump, run, and wave dash. For the offensive side, you have your normals. You have your lights, your mediums, and your heavy. By pressing and holding heavy, this causes a critical strike, which does devastating damage. Special moves are done with the S1 and S2 button, and each character has a different range, usually the S1 forward and the S2 back, performing different specials depending on what you press. The tag button allows you to tag between characters, and ultimates are done typically by pressing down, down, and S1 or S2 at the same time, but you're going to need your meters full. There is a lot of defensive options in this game that make it a little bit more balanced. First, we have push block, and that's something you should be familiar with if you've played fighting games before. This ends up using your ultimate meter, and it can't be spammed. Opposite of this, we have something new which is called retreating guard. This allows you to dash back away from the opponent, which is a lot different from pushing the opponent away. And next, we have parry. And another thing that you just can't spam, this isn't Street Fighter 6. This game has a high parry or low parry. This option comes with a huge high risk and high reward factor, as it'll cost you 1 meter if your timing is off. But if you're calculated and you get it done at the right time, that meter is refilled automatically, giving you the opportunity also to follow up with a combo. Let's talk about this amazing tag system. This is how you switch between characters. First, you have Tag Launcher. This can be done by simply pressing the tag button alone. And this is done when your assist character is off the screen. To do a quick tag, all you have to do is hold down the tag button. Using the tag button also allows you to do your assist with your character. A really cool feature in this game is Handshake Tag. You have Last Stand, which is an assist that works when your assist character is KO'd and your point character has less than 50% HP. And rolling back, I mentioned I was going to talk about dynamic save. And this is something that's really cool because a lot of times you don't know what to do when someone's just constantly comboing you and you're just getting attacked. You can use dynamic save by pressing the tag button and the S1 or S2 to have your assist character stop the combo that's being done. But this does take away from your dynamic meter, so make sure the meter is full and you're using it at the right time. Let me give my overall thoughts and impressions. This game is beautiful and felt super smooth. I totally dig the art style and I think the animation team did a wonderful job, as the movements were not only super animated, but some of the supers look like an animated cartoon. Personally, I'm not a fan of simple inputs, but the S1 and S2 buttons really balance out all of the other madness that's going on in the game. I felt like I was worrying a lot less about inputs and just worrying more about execution. I've been playing fighting games for a long time, and I have to say this game gave me a lot, and I mean a lot of nostalgia. I was getting flashbacks to Marvel 2, Marvel 3, Street Fighter Alpha, even Capcom vs SNK. I had a blast playing by myself, managing the two characters, but when I joined up with Remdog and we had to work as a team together, it was truly something I've never felt before. This 2v2 4-player system is something that brings out so much excitement and flavor to fighting games. And yes, you can go ahead and say that this was done already in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, but that dual gameplay system was only used in a specific situation. Unlike 2XKO, the emphasis of this game is teamwork, communication, and synergy. This really will help those who are not as skilled, or if one player understands a matchup a little bit better, and this will allow them to organize and strategize. You gotta think about this for a moment. Imagine you and another player teaming up just to play in person, or going online and connecting via voice chat just to communicate during the match. What about esports? Can you imagine the likes of Mena RD, Kaba, Angry Bird, Big Bird going against each other? This is going to take esports to another level, and I think this is one way you're also going to see a lot of players evolve under these circumstances. Riot has been working on this game for quite some time now, and there's still no release date. But I'm pretty sure that's because they're going to hit us hard when this game comes. And remember, they don't just produce fighting games, they have a huge esports league that has a solid following. This game is supposed to be free to play, and we all know what that means. You're paying for DLC, which more likely means things like skins, outfits, characters, stages, and hey, maybe even music. I would see a battle pass coming along with this that only makes sense with the way games are being produced now. And based on playing it, you're gonna get a lot of pockets to open up for this game. I hope we get a release date soon. I think 6 characters is rather low. 8 characters would be great for a free-to-play game. But regardless, I look forward to teaming up with someone and hitting up some tournaments, or even covering it if this game can hit the main stage at EVO. Since this is free, it should be in the hands of more people than any other fighting game ever. And I'm curious to see what's next over at Riot Games. But let me know what you think about this game. Does this whole 2v2 system sound like something you're excited for? Or are you a little bit more of the one-person army and you're gonna handle all things by yourself? Let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Peace!